Hey you guys, welcome back to video number 3. I feel blessed to be able to have the chance to talk with you guys today. So today, one of the things I have wanted to talk with you guys about is this concept, a really important concept called meta narrative. So let's get into it. So I love talking about money. I think it's so much fun to talk about money. I don't really care much about like investment strategy or which stocks to pick. It's not really what I find exciting. What I find really exciting about money and what I love talking about money is I love the relationship that we have with money. I find it so interesting how money impacts our relationship to other people or our perception of ourselves or our interactions with other people. I love how, again, the dynamic that money plays in our relationships, both in our family or with our friends or within ourselves. Like, that's really the part. How we feel about money, like, that's the part about money that I think is so fun to talk about and so interesting to talk about. So I love me some personal finance YouTube channels and TikToks. I actually don't watch TikTok, but YouTube definitely. I definitely love my personal finance YouTube channels, and definitely a big theme as I'm watching videos lately. A really big theme that I'm hearing right now on a lot of the channels is the sense of like despair, despondence, discouragement, anger, and a sense of being like stuck or trapped right now with our current financial situation. And the truth is that, right, like if any of you are watching directly from here, from the US, like that's true here in the US, but I'll be honest with you, right, like the truth is that that's not true just here in the US. It's a sentiment that's true all around the world in the sense of, again, uncertainty and instability, and how discouraged people are feeling about their financial outlook and their financial outcomes right now, especially with the rates of inflation, etc., etc. And part of what I wanted to talk about to you guys regarding that, again, is this idea of metacognition. And the question is, what is a metacognition? And a metacognition is not metacognition, meta-narrative, I'm sorry, meta-narrative. And a meta-narrative is, again, the big storyline that is kind of shaping then kind of downstream all of our other stories that we tell ourselves, because we are the main characters of our own stories. There is objective reality, like, you know, the floor is hard, or at least concrete is hard. Air is a gas. I get lipstick on my teeth almost every single video, right? Like, these are objective realities, and then we have subjective experiences of those objective realities. In terms of like my experience with the concrete or my experience with air, my experience with making these videos is my subjective lived experience of these objective realities. And so again, we are the center of those realities because, you know, you wake up and you open your eyes and you're still inside of you. So you are the main character in that narrative. But there is so many things that feed into our narrative and that shape our narrative. And one of these is a meta narrative. So there can be lots of different examples of different kinds of meta narratives. For example, political systems like the rise of communism provided a meta narrative of, you know, the working class between an owner, let's say, for example, or religious frameworks, right? Religious frameworks also provide a meta narrative, a larger story to help you understand yourself within a larger context of the world or the universe, etc. And so the meta narrative is that, you know, we're born into families that feed us meta narratives. You know, Uncle Bob is, has these theories about the government and his conspiracy theories about, the Area 51 or whatever is part of what's maybe contributing into your meta narrative. Or you grew up in a house that was extremely strict and extremely fearful of, like the Satan is going to come and get you if you don't do this, that, or the other. So you got to be good, right? That is also a meta narrative that is then shaping your worldview and shaping how you experience the world around you. And when we're little, we don't have a whole lot of control about what these meta narratives are, right? Our parents, our extended family, the schools we go to, the communities that we are exposed to, these are the things that are shaping our meta narrative. But one of the cool things that happens is that as we get older, we have more choice and say in getting to choose what is the meta narrative, or what are those narratives that are going to feed into my meta narrative and going to shape my lived experience of a objective reality. And so I can't help but worry as I watch some of these videos sometimes, again, hearing the gloom and the despair and the lack of hope, which is all really understandable and fair, by the way, and also valid as well. Again, because like our feelings are valid and part of our subjective experience. But I do worry in terms of how having these thoughts, these feelings, and then watching so many videos that continue to reinforce that sense of despair, the sense of anger, the sense of unfairness right now that we're living through, how that is then shaping and molding people's meta narratives. Because the thing is, again, like we have meta narratives, whether we are super conscious of them or not. People go throughout their life, oftentimes kind of in some ways, perhaps being unconsciously influenced by their meta narrative, or never taking any real time to articulate their meta narrative. And I would say part of the cool thing about therapy is that in therapy, you should get a chance to be able to explore, to question, to be curious about your meta narratives, about those stories of things that you have lived, those things that have been said to you, and the things that are currently shaping your thinking. Part of good therapy should be a time to self-reflect and assess the things, the narratives that are feeding into you and shaping and molding your meta narrative. And again, but that's part of what you do in therapy, but that's not always what people are walking around doing their groceries or, driving their car or going to work thinking about these meta narratives. But they are most definitely watching YouTube or listening to podcasts, watching TikToks and everyone else. And again, there's such a huge message right now, again, around a sense of despair, a sense of anger, and a sense of injustice, and a sense of unfairness. And again, those things are absolutely valid in terms of your subjective experience and how you're experiencing it. And there's an objective reality, right? Again, like all of us are paying a lot more for our gas, and it's painful, viscerally inside painful when I fill up my gas tank. That is part of that objective reality. But please, you guys, please also be super, super mindful of what else is feeding into your meta narrative about your life. Because again, we now as adults have a chance to be able to make sure that we are being careful about what voices are feeding into that meta narrative. And if you are ending the day always feeling super down, super anxious, super untrusting of everything and everyone around you, including like your neighbors or the public library or whatever it might be, if you're ending your days feeling a sense of despair and loneliness or suspicion, I would really encourage you to maybe perhaps evaluate what is feeding into, what are the voices that you're allowing to feed into your meta narrative, or is leaving you in so much despair or in so much anger or so much hopelessness. part of what's important too about, you know, as I'm watching these videos on YouTube or hearing, you know, replays or whatever of things, is that it's important to also remember that when someone is not selling you something, then you're the product, right? Like when they're not selling you a product, then you are the product. And I mean, that's true of YouTube too, right? Like that's true of this right now. You watching this video and engaging with this video is actually the product. Like that's it. That is actually what I'm trying to get from YouTube. That's how YouTube, or that's how people get monetized on YouTube. That's a reality of, again, all of everything in the attention economy, like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of those things. Like your attention, your energy, your engagement with videos, that is the product. And so there is a real incentive to keep people really anxious. There's a real incentive to keep people really angry and really worked up. Because in our brains, we have this, what's called a negativity bias. Our brain is very sensitive to picking up negative information. And there's functional reasons for this, and maybe we'll talk about that in another occasion. But our brain has a real kind of desire to look out and to monitor and to pick up on negative things. And so it catches our attention. Negative information catches naturally our brain's attention. And so there's a real incentive also for people to continue to put products out there, to continue to put video and content out there that continues to make you feel discouraged, to make you feel outraged, to make you feel indignant, to make you feel anxious, because it will keep you actually engaged. And the algorithm is happy to continue to feed it to you. And so sometimes people watch these videos thinking that it is just simply being informed or, knowing what other people are going through, or feeling connected with other people who are going through similar struggles. And if that's the case, that is good. But if at the end of that video, if you are left with only anger, despair, and hopelessness, then it's not actually serving any real purpose towards you. It's not feeding back into a meta narrative that will empower you to do something in your life. If you watch those videos and you then are seeing the struggles of others, and that seeing the struggles of others is then driving you to be like, no, part of my meta narrative is that I'm going to make a difference in this world, so I'm going to be kind to my neighbor and just wave at them when I see them. Excellent. Good. Then that is actually serving a purpose in your life. But if at the end of those videos, all you're doing is doom scrolling, please actually realize that you are the product. They're making money off of keeping you hopeless and disempowered and anxious. So please be mindful. Please be careful of the things that you are allowing to feed into your mind. Again, a good test of whether something is contributing in a positive way to your life and contributing to a metacognition that is empowering you in your life. Notice how you feel by the end of your video. Are you feeling motivated, challenged, maybe even sad, but moved to act? Or are you being left with just hopelessness, anxiety, fear, and outrage? If that's the case, then you are the product. Your anger, your fear, your anxiety is the product. And it's hard for us to find ways to be kind of like pull away if we're finding ourselves in those cycles. It's hard for us to find ways to pull away. I've heard that phrase of like, go out and touch grass type thing, because it's real. Like we can get really stuck in these cycles of all these like really negative things feeding into our psyche. And again, kind of reinforcing a really negative, disempowering, kind of doomsday meta narrative in our life. Where was I going with this?
Oh boy, words are so hard. So many words.
So if you are finding yourself feeling really stuck with those kinds of feelings, if you're finding yourself feeling again really alone and really in despair or anxious or angry, and Like maybe you are recognizing this in yourself. You're recognizing that you're having a hard time moving these emotions into any actionable step in your life that makes you feel connected or engaged in addressing the problems in the world or addressing the problems in your own personal life. Please don't hesitate to reach out. If you are here in the state of California, please feel free to give Vida Counseling a call. We have, again, amazing clinicians here at Vida Counseling that would be, again, be able to work with you and address with you what is feeding into that meta narrative and how to help create new cycles in your life to break out of that trap. Or if you're feeling really alone and in despair, please know we are not made as islands onto ourselves. We are made for connection and for community. And if you're struggling to find a safe community, therapy can be a good place to start and then grow and build from as well, as you practice new skills and work on shaping a new narrative in your life. So if you're in California, please feel free to give us a call here at Vida Counseling. But if not, again, there's gonna be wonderful, amazing clinicians wherever you might be. Please reach out. You don't have to do this alone. Entonces, thank you so much for watching, you guys. Pa' adelante, mi gente. Bye.
Ba-doo.
Hey, you guys. Oh, no.